What's up, bitches? Maxwell here. Where's my angel girl?
I'm still trying to set up a little bit, but where is Aoife?
Well, let's let the DM paint the picture at the moment.
This is very clearly a library. So you see all those can't list it, but it's also very clearly nighttime. And above every bookshelf, there appears to be a window. So whoop, you guys are in a library, which is not where you were last time you knew. And this little summoning circle that's below Jid's feet, that Maxwell sort of would have tumbled off of as he fell, because he was panicking during that last moments, and Jid, not really.
I stood my
Aoife!
ground.
Jid's the
Crabman! Yeah, Jid.
This is more of a mechanics question. Do I still have dark? Is it like dark in here, or?
So I was about to say that So I was about to shed some light on the situation. Can you not see? You should be able to see. I
No,
couldn't
no, no,
magnify
no.
it.
I was gonna ask this. Do I still have my dark vision because of wibbly wobbly BS?
Oh, because of I don't give a shit about it right now. Yeah, and so there's windows. There's windows. Oh, I should rotate this 90 degrees. Oh, fuck. Didn't catch all the.
Hold on,
Didn't
do
catch
it
the
now.
whole E. Didn't catch the whole E. There we go. So there's a compass and inscribed into this magic circle. The north walls and south walls. North walls and south walls have windows above them, and in one of the southern windows, you can see a moon, a singular moon. And that moon is, if you guys understand lunar phases, in the waxing gibbous. So it's
I do not understand lunar.
in layman's terms, it's a few days from the it's a day or two from the full moon, maybe 3 days, from what you guys know, from what you guys would have known from the Sword Coast.
That's quite beautiful.
Oh,
is
sunglasses!
Quite
You have
beautiful.
sunglasses.
I do have sunglasses.
No, Jid has sunglasses.
Oh,
I do and I don't. You just gave me the sunglasses so I can just have the dark vision.
So then
That's
you
what.
just have the dark vision. You wouldn't have the other BS from the
Yeah,
sunglasses.
I just wanted to make sure that was still a thing.
I
would
mean,
like
I
to-
didn't take it off your seat, so yeah.
I would like to walk over to this desk of sorts and rummage around, see what I can find. Who lives here? Or, other than the fact that this is a library, what knowledge I can get from here, open books and
So,
whatnot.
hmm. Sorry, I took a bite of my pizza as you were asking that. What you see is you've got a map of there's a sort of map of the world, but it's not exactly a sort of map of it appears to be the local area. And canonically, your character wouldn't have that right now. Nope, that's on the map layer. God damn it. I set it to the wrong layer again. That layer. And you
I
can
might have
see.
to drop out of Discord for a second because Discord is crashing.
All right. So you can
Okay.
see sort of. sort of coastline here. No. So
New Amsterdam. That's not familiar at all. I wasn't a map guy. This does not bode well.
and that's not where you are. There's a sort of a pin in the map. Oh god, I can't draw a pin. Do this. Draw a shape.
Oh my god, we are so far away.
Sorry. So this is it's a rather large pin. But it puts you here, roughly.
Does here have a name?
Yes. I just gotta remember what was it this one that I used? Yep. Good enough. Nope, there's no D in there. This is York.
York.
And there's
Are we near South Carolina? Because there's a York, South Carolina. I'm sorry.
Out of game. Is this near North Carolina?
I'm sorry. I had to do it.
there's a couple other cities marked, but they appear to be too small to take up a significant portion of the map.
Shire. I should take notes right now. That's what I should do. I
This
will
is the
take
notes.
notes.
This is the notes. I'll
Okay,
let you
I
know.
don't have to take
If
notes.
you want to check the map, your character could be taking notes, like scribbling down, or just take the map.
Yeah, well, gonna do both.
The map doesn't have much detail because I'm lazy.
I feel that. That's a mood. Amsterdam, York, Nimsdale, Brumshire. Jid, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
You think? I would hold
And
on.
then there's
I
this,
would hold on to that map, and it might be useful later.
there's this dark blue line. There's this dark blue line on the map, and nothing. And like on the inside of the blue line, between the blue line and the red line, there's drawings of trees, normal map adornments. And the other side of the map, it's called the Unknown Lands. No, there's no K in there because and you can reckon that either someone doesn't know how to spell unknown, or that's a name.
Just gonna put a caret in between the U and the N, and put a K on top.
Hey, what is this?
What is it?
Oh,
Okay, Jid, from what I can surmise from this map, we are currently in a city called York. No clue what it is at all. But I get the feeling that it is nowhere near our home.
Like Jid's main concern right now is just to find Aoife. That's really what's going through his mind.
We
Hello.
can't find Aoife if we don't know where we are. So we got to start somewhere, and we started there. Now we have to find out where she landed, who else came with her. We also have to
Would
find out how to traverse the lands. We have no clue what is happening.
Jid is literally just gonna look down at his hooves and like, I think the land traversing we have taken care of.
Yes, you might be right. Ooh, mountains. Rocky
Um,
Lucky. Rocky Lakia. You sure about the land traversing?
have you ever seen a horse in Skyrim?
I have. I
I
have.
just,
The map, the
I
map
just had to
shows,
bring that up.
the map shows that the mountain range goes all the way into the sea. So like you have peaks at the coast.
Oh boy.
It
It'd
seems that
take
a lot
us
of people,
days to go around the mountains.
and in the New Amsterdam, there's a little star, which um would it be reasonable for
I think
Maxwell
it
to
would be
know anything about
reasonable. He's a scout. He's a
he's a
scout.
scout.
Um,
He's
ra-
a
rain.
yeah,
Ranger rogue. He's a scout
he's a
rogue.
scout.
He would. I feel like he would know how to read maps, at least a little bit. He would know enough to be like, "Oh, star means capital."
Yep.
Um, I would figure Jid would also know because he has a soldier background.
Also, uh, Maxwell is a spy. Has the spy background, burglar spy, but still spy. So Ranger or not Ranger, Scout, Rogue.
I mean, I can always pull a rank. I do have military rank, but I don't know if that would work here.
Also, his intelligence score is 18. He's not that dumb.
I'm not gonna say Jid's dumb, but it may take him a little bit longer to piece some stuff together.
I'm just gonna write
Okay,
these letters
Um,
that I wrote so I
okay,
don't.
okay, my
is,
half horse friend. I know
is
where
there,
we're going to start.
well, let's see if there's anything interesting else in this room before we leave
I,
it.
I agree. We should
Um,
see if they have any supplies.
that and has anyone used this room? Has anyone been using this room of lately, or is it like really well abandoned?
So this is very much not abandoned. The candles on the desk, one of them is still smoking. So people like recently left this room. And aside from a couple of the shelves being dusty, you can tell that the place is generally in good repair. You can even tell that
I'm gonna.
somebody was studying over here and had to leave in a hurry.
Could
So like
I
everything looks
tell what they were studying?
depends on what languages you speak.
Sylvian, Common. Yeah, that's it. Sylvian and Common.
Do Sylvan and Common use the same script?
I think Elven and Common uses. I would assume Elven and Sylvan
Sylvan is
use the
Fey.
same script.
Let's see. I know exactly where to look for that. Let's see. Elvish uses the Elvish script. Sylvan uses the Elvish script. So you recognize the alphabet, but not the words.
You know you have an elf here.
I'm gonna bring some papers. It's like I can make out these letters, but I can't put them together.
You said what? I am currently trying to see what's in this chest.
Well, when you're done with that.
The chest has basically a scribe's supplies. So all the stuff you would need to write magic scrolls is in that chest.
Well, that's useless to me.
Oh, it isn't?
I know
You're
a
not
fiery redhead who this would be great for. What were you saying? It's not useless to me?
No, you can write scrolls. You're an artificer. You know spells.
Oh,
Anyone who knows,
sweet!
anyone
I'm
with
taking shit.
I would argue that any intelligence caster can make scrolls. Like,
I'm taking shit.
so you're taking stuff. Huh? Are you gonna
I'm taking shit.
You're taking shit.
I'm
How
taking
much are you
shit.
taking? How many?
Not enough
How
to
many?
notice, but like
How many?
enough that I'll be good.
How many scrolls worth of stuff do you want to take? Let's just move this folder all the way up here so I can more easily access it.
That begs the question: how many scrolls worth of stuff is in this chest?
Well, it's stuffed to the brim and well organized. So if you took
I'm
like
good.
to the point, it's stuffed so full to the point where if you took anything, someone would notice. But
All right.
how much stuff is in the library, and you don't know when those people are coming back, if at all.
I will take. Well, if it's stuff to the brim, 10 squirrels worth.
10 scrolls worth? All
Yeah.
right.
Just do I have a bag of holding? I feel like I
You
do.
should. I have one.
Like I have a bag of holding. I don't. It's not
Oh.
on here, but I feel like I did.
I
At
feel like
some
I did
point.
too. I thought I had one too.
Was Zeus carrying our bag of holding?
You guys, well, you guys do to the degree that I'm not really keeping track, so long as you're not abusing it. So I might like stuffing like 10, like this the stuff to make 10 scrolls isn't thicker than it. Like it'd be like shoving a book in your coat.
Okay.
I'm letting like you have 100 rounds of 7.92. You have 100. You have 6 pounds of ammunition in your inventory. I don't think.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you have six
All right.
pounds of 7.92 Mauser. You have actually 10 pounds of ammo because you have
I
six
was just
pounds of what you need
asking.
for your car and
I was more
4 pounds.
asking just in case somebody came in and I had to like try to hide that.
Oh, okay, okay.
I was more asking for that, more than the weight and whatnot.
Well,
Yeah.
Jid
No, I
has
think
a bag of candy, so
Useful.
very useful.
I do have a backpack though, so I could just,
Yeah.
put that in there, zip it up.
so. You saw me changing that. That's just a continuation of the wall. The original image had a door there, but I don't want there to be a door there. The doors are on the other side of the room.
Okay, Jid, what were you handing me?
Oh no, those are windows. Those are like floor to ceiling windows. So that is in fact a door.
I was saying it's like I can see letters, but I cannot make out the words. What about you?
This is very obviously elvish.
That would Jid know that there was a similarity between Sylvian and Elvish?
So Jid would be aware just that they share the same script.
That's okay.
What does
So
it say?
Maxwell, it isn't undercommon. And no, it isn't
It isn't.
elvish. It's undercommon.
I don't have undercommon. I have thieves' cant.
Wow.
I am a drow. I have common, celestial, dwarven, elvish, infernal, thieves' cant, which isn't a language. So I don't have undercommon.
Hold up.
Do drow
Oh,
elves get undercommon?
no, they don't. That's weird. Well, if you don't have it, you don't have it. And it's not like you were in the Underdark. So your character wouldn't have a reason to get it backstory wise. So
Nope.
you can recognize by process of elimination that it's undercommon. Or so you can't. And undercommon and elvish share some words, so you can make out what some of the words are, but
Mm-hmm.
the order isn't what you mean, and a lot of it looks like. And both of you would be able to notice it. A lot of it looks like shorthand, like someone was taking notes.
Hmm. Could if I look through this pile, would Jid be able to tell, like, since he could tell it's shorthand, take a couple pages? Like, Jid's literally thinking like taking a couple pages with him and trying to get someone else to read to figure out what's going on.
Okay, so as Jid sifts through the papers, he notices they're all handwritten. And that one set, and that you can like clearly make out two sets by two different styles of handwriting. And at the and sort of on the edge of the pile is a thick, heavy, leather-bound book. And this is like nice leather that it's bound in.
Oh, like, Jid's gonna like pick it up. Like if he noticed it, that's like one of the first things he's gonna pick up and go through.
And and when you pick it up, it's like, even for someone who's used to throwing a couple of lances around all the time, it's heavy. This is heavy duty stuff. And the script, that one is one that, let's see, Maxwell would recognize it. So Maxwell would recognize it as Celestial written backwards.
Why would they write celestial and backwards? That's interesting.
It's not that the characters are backwards. Like, it's not just that the characters are backwards. The sentences, and it's mostly word and sentence fragments, are all backwards. Like someone started on the right side of the page and
Oh my
went
god, it's a
to
manga. Sorry.
Would
no,
Maxwell
the author was left-handed.
refer that to Jid?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Jid
said
would
that. I
basically
said, why would
say,
they write celestial backwards out loud?
it's like, well, right now we don't have the time to figure that out. I would put that book in my backpack.
All right. And the words on the page, like, you can tell the sentence structure is correct, but they're using the wrong words. It's like they're using nouns where verbs would be, adjectives where adverbs would be, etc. You can tell that someone who went to great lengths to make this indecipherable. Did you take? Oh, you did take linguist.
Yeah, I did take linguist. That's how I got my intelligence score up to 18.
Okay.
Wait, at level 9, don't you get another ACI?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a feat. You have to take it as a feat.
Yeah, you get a feat. So if
Did
you
I
want a feat,
did
you
I
could
take a
get
feat?
one.
I don't think I
I
took
don't
a
know.
feat.
You should get one. It's very useful. I got Elven accuracy, and right before the tournament began, he gave us
I got
a
Indomitable,
feat.
but that's a vital feat. I get that automatically.
You did not take the feat. You are due. Looks like, if you want my recommendation, wait,
I thought I took
what?
one. I may have not taken.
Like, don't fighters get like a normal feat at 6? Like, fighters get an ASI at 6.
Yeah, fighters get an ASI at 6.
And
Theirs
I know you guys take
goes 4, 6, 8, 12. I want to say.
I've got the book right here. I can check real quick.
I want to say 16.
I think Jid is like severely lacking in.
And yet I'm still very overpowered.
Fighters are just good.
Fourth,
This
sixth,
is the
eighth,
conclusion.
okay, so fourth, sixth, and eighth so far. So you'd have 3 ASIs and 4 additional feats. Because I made you guys take one at level 1, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think. I'm not sure. I
We'll
think
figure it
though.
out later.
Yeah. For canon purposes, we could say he hasn't taken the feat.
Yeah, I haven't taken the feat just yet, so let's we can come back to this.
Yeah, I'm just checking that it's just 1 feat that you need to take. Hold up. Have you taken any ASIs?
It should. I think I have. I don't
Okay,
know.
we'll figure it out later.
I think I
Just
still have
make
an
it.
old copy.
I think you're an ASI and a feat short. Just like looking at your stats and your feats. Like on top of the feat you got at ninth. So 2 feats in ASI, which could
Alright.
also be a feat.
Because I don't remember Character Manso ever prompting me for stuff. I remember it prompting me for health, but
You already added the book.
yes.
Well,
Alright,
let's wait for
so
spells.
Jid, would you like to grab anything else before we leave? As
would
I
anything else
as
be
I like
interesting?
go through the shelves and see if like anything like pops out to me,
That's
like
what
any
I'm gonna
like
be
like any like
asking.
book spines or like fine crafted like leather bound books or something
There's
like
a lot of
good
fantasy
books.
novels and some like magic textbooks, but
I
they're like basic magic can't. They're like. Why do you have shield as a cantrip? Oh,
Because
Jude has shield as a cantrip. Okay, I was looking at the
be-
wrong sheet. I was checking Maxwell's spell list. I went to go check Maxwell's spell list. I saw it on Jid's. And then I looked on the wrong character sheet. So, but like
I've,
they're like you recognize them as like those textbooks are the kind that like at wizards learn cantrips out of. They're like
mm,
very basic ones, and this is something you'd know from watching Zelane because most wizards guard their spell books. Like you wouldn't find anything like you might find a first level scroll, like you might find a few first level scrolls in a library, but like aside from that desk, this has all the fixings of a public library.
what else could I find on that desk? Was it just the map? And
It was map and basically everything a librarian would use to keep like kind of basically ledgers of who's borrowing what books and records
could I,
of who paid and records of who paid for library cards or paid to have the librarian whose name is written like that.
Andreas. Let's see. Probably not gonna need the name of the young copper dragon or Lord Zelron Roaring Horn anymore. Keeping them in there for memory's sake.
Yeah.
Andreas Librarian.
while Max was doing that, these are doors, right?
Those are big windows. They're floor
No,
to
those
ceiling windows.
the
There's like
doors.
so the walls, you notice, are made of stone. So there's like about a foot, maybe a foot and a half of stone wall before it goes straight to window. And they're just regular windows, and you can see trees. Just big fuck off trees.
Well, what would the door be in this? Would this be the door?
Yeah, on the other side, the
Oh,
part I originally had covered with a square.
okay. I thought those were doors.
Could I also take down like a couple names of those who paid, just to make sure I have some friends in high places, so I know.
So there's no names attached to who paid.
Oh,
Like there's general descriptions, but nothing you could use to find somebody in a crowd.
okay. That's is it for me. Gonna walk over to the door. I'm gonna, Jid, let me scout out before we go out, just to make sure if there's,
And I've lost sight. It's a whole black now.
I didn't move you. What? Dynamic
Yeah.
lighting is off on this page.
Now, when Maxwell left, my light source is Maxwell. When Maxwell went up past that, all my light would have disappeared.
Oh,
That is weird.
Maxwell, you are the
I
light of my
am the
world.
light.
How many tiles wide is this place? Sorry, I didn't do any prep. Like I prepped this and that's it. So I just gotta double check that I'm freehanding a street again.
Fine.
There we go. I can move you guys to this. So Matt is Jid going to follow out or is just Maxwell peeking?
Well, I'm gonna scout out, and then I'm gonna should roll a stealth check. That's what I should do.
Oh wait. Door's locked.
Oh, sleight of hand.
I forgot
Wait,
I did that. The door's
thieves'
locked.
tools first
The handle does
to
the
make
handle doesn't
sure.
jiggle. And there's no keyhole in the handle. Above the
Oh, damn.
handle is a big bronze plate, like 2 or 3 times the diameter of the circle, and it takes up a considerable portion of the door. And around the edge of the plate are letters in common A through S, but the letter O is missing. So it goes
A, B, C, D, E,
actually
F,
ignore
G,
that.
H, I, J, K, L, M, N,
Ignore
P.
that. Give me a minute.
Oh, God. He threw my worst enemy. First grade puzzles.
Okay.
It's taking a second.
No, I was just kind of confirming a feeling Jid was having.
Okay. Oh wait, did you throw something? Oh, you threw something. I'm in a different tab right now.
Okay. Like I already know what Jid wants to do. I have to ask a question.
Oh wait, that's not what I was.
This puzzle is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh,
All right, I'm signing. All right, y'all. I'm signing off for the night. Good night. Just because of that. Good night, everybody.
And we're all playing this session of D&D through Raycon
I'll beat your ass.
Can I reenact a scene that I did in the stables? Or was it in the stables? Were we in the stables?
Better not kick me.
That's the one I'm talking about.
You better not kick me.
File one.
They're letters in common, but they're not in any. That's the order they're in.
What is the door made out of?
Wood.
Before I forget, does it open inwards or outwards?
The hinges are on the inside. It opens inwards.
Dang it.
NRSB. Are like the letters on like, is it like, I don't know how to
So
describe it.
it's a circle.
It's a circle.
So that W is also adjacent to the N. Like if you read it, that's what you get if you read it clockwise. Find a piece of paper.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm picking up what they're throwing down.
Yeah, I still want to draw it, so I have a better visual of what I just created. So I can write the answer down.
Does the circle
No.
rotate?
So the brass plate is a part of the door. It's in the door.
Oh.
But the letters are raised. They appear to be buttons.
Oh. Could I make an investigation check to see which letters are all the letters like worn from being pushed? Like, do each of the letters have a
They
have a
have
little bit of
equal
wear
wear.
on them?
They have
Okay.
equal wear. So whenever they're pressed, each and every one of which means that you can tell each and every one, which from what you're trying to determine, when they are pressed, all of them are pressed, and all of them is pressed an equal number of times.
Jed's gonna walk over here and just take another look at the death to see if he finds anything of noteworthy that would help solve this.
Make an investigation check. don't learn it. Nothing new.
Hmm.
Well,
So they're
what about?
all pressed an equal amount of time. Jed, are you going to break through a window?
Don't tempt me. What about this pile right here?
Oh, it's that one. Someone just knocked the books off the shelf and made a mess, and didn't have time to clean it up. It seems, or thought that they'd be able to just clean it up later.
Hmm.
Would Maxwell share that they'll pushed an equal amount of times?
Yes, he would.
Oh, maybe it spells out a word that uses all the letters.
Perhaps, but then that begs the question what would, and if the letters are repeated. Because I have no idea if the buttons raise back up after one push, or could I find something that has the name of this library?
Well, you remember that when you were looking over the ledgers and such on the desk,
Hmm.
they were written in the Elvish script, but the name Western Library was on the top.
I'm
It
gonna
was like the
push.
header.
I'm gonna push the buttons in the order to spell Western Library.
Here, click. So each one, you can notice that it takes a little bit of effort for someone your size to be, someone of your size and relative strength, to be pushing those buttons in. So this is somebody who's been, so they're either really worn or just really strong to begin with. But it takes a little bit of effort, but you're able to do it. And as you hit the Y, the plate clicks into the door, and you can see the plate clicks into the door. Like the whole thing moves in the
Hmm.
door.
Hmm. I push the door open.
Well, it still has a knob.
Oh, I
So
I
pushing
unlock. I turn the knob and push.
the knob
Hello.
turns and the door pushes out into an empty street. So you see what looks to be an empty street. Like there's doors, like there's other storefronts. There's like storefronts and doors and such. But draw that on the map. No, what layer is that?
Well, well, Jid, I can't say I see anybody who would try to rob us, but the fact that it's empty makes it even more suspicious.
Well, it's also nighttime.
I get that, but
It's nighttime.
I would assume like there were a couple people.
Nope, nobody. At least not that you can see.
Could could I determine the time of day or the time of night?
Make a perception check. And I'll be right back. I gotta do something real quick.
I was actually hoping for survival. But oh well.
I can make a perception check.
Oh, I'm proficient in survival.
Ooh! Yes! Oh, yeah!
You're very perceptive right now.
I'm so perceptive.
We're both like taking disadvantage rolls because we're like, Eva, where art thou?
Ava! Where is she?
I don't know. What makes it funny is that the two of them don't know that she's not alone.
Oh my god, we don't. We just. But we also don't know if Boris, Selena, anybody else got teleported too.
True.
So. She may or may not be alone. This is really the answer.
Truth be honest, this is what Jed's kind of thinking. It's like he knows it's night. It's just kind of how far into the night is the question. He's probably just gonna see if we can like take a real quick look around the city and try to find someone or go to an inn.
Maxwell is currently thinking we should get out of the city and head straight for the capital because they probably have more info over there than we do
Well,
in fucking York.
well, Jed's gonna. I'm assuming we're actually talking about this now.
Yes. Yeah.
No, Jed's gonna be like, yeah, but do we want to travel at night, or do we want to travel at break of dawn and try to rest and grab the supplies?
This is also true. We have no clue what
We have no idea what's
is
going
out
on.
there. We have no clue what's out there.
So are you moving out into the street then?
Yes.
Okay.
Walking and talking.
And my hands are on my lances just in case.
I'm
Like
Yeah.
no
currently.
sheath, like the
I
sheath,
currently.
but my hands on the grips.
I currently have my hand hovering above my pepper box.
And just you guys can see the street I'm drawing, right?
I see a red squirrel,
Yep, I see a gray square, burgundy square, red square, rectangle. Squares are rectangles.
but
Squares are
rectangles are
fine.
not squares.
That is true.
Yeah, it's whatever. Just ignore.
I'm assuming these are buildings.
Yeah, they're just buildings.
Okay. So we
And there's no
probably
lights
exit right
on.
about there.
Yep. Oh, wrong card. But you there. So street's empty. There's a big image of on you can see on the front of the building you just left. Sign saying, in looks to be an iron sign, painted gold. Looks to be a gilded sign. Western Library. And you notice that on the door that you just assume closed behind you, there's a little sign on it. There's two little signs on it. One is in common, and the other is in undercommon. So, and something is, and what was that perception check?
To tell what time of night it was.
Oh, yeah, it's like 1 or 2 a.m.
Okay.
I was
Just
tying my shoes.
It's a few hours before sunrise. A few hours before the sun starts to rise. You have no idea. The stars are unfamiliar. The stars are completely unfamiliar to you. And in fact, the moon doesn't look like the moon you're used to.
Why is it blue? Why is it whitish blue and not green?
What the moon on the last world wasn't green, asshole.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You had to think on that one.
Like, wait, what?
I see like the gears meshing. It's like, wait a minute.
Are you guys standing there and watching, or are you like walking along?
Yeah, we're
I'm walking
walking.
along,
I'm
looking at
walking.
the different buildings, seeing if I noticed like an inn or if I see anyone or. But I'm
Well,
at a very like defensive like pose. If like if I sense any type of danger, like I'm going to be on the defensive.
all right. So we're just gonna imagine that the buildings are changing around you, because like everything seems to be closed, and There's nothing called an inn. You see a bunch of looks to be a bunch of names you don't like. They all have like the places are all have just like people names. Like you're walking like the only building that had a like front like a sign on the front was the big fancy sign was the Western Library. Everything else just has like a sign by the door, like a little plate with the name graved, like like a metal like usually brass, sometimes silver plate with a name, with a couple of names, with a name, maybe 2 or 3 names engraved in it. And about a quarter mile down, you notice something that says very clearly you're in the middle of a bunch of houses. It says, I'm going to
So let me
type
get
it
this
out
straight.
because it
Let me get
says,
this straight.
you don't know how it's typed out because you don't know how to say it.
No, like, let me get this straight. Jade and Maxwell ended up in a suburban area, and Aoife and Flom ended up in the hood. Is what I'm hearing.
I mean, you're not wrong.
There's police brutality and everything. It's bad.
Shit has the right to bear arms.
We
That's
we're gonna see Aoife. She's gonna have cornrows, fuck a grill, a whole ass chain.
A giant clock and start sharing Flavor Flav.
She's gonna be fucking sagging pants. Sup, hobby? What the fuck happened to you?
Oh, that's great. Let's see, where is it?
Hey,
There's
cuz,
a
you were
token.
12? The fuck
I'll
is
find it.
12?
Fuck 12.
Fuck 12. You with the ops? Aoife, why
And
are you talking like this?
as you walk down and as you continue going, you notice. Let me rotate the fucking token. It
having
look
trouble.
like when I pull a token on it, assumes it's gonna have bars. Here are the bars. This token is not wrapping.
I said the hit, hot, the hibby, and
Hmm.
1,
I don't know how
2,
to turn it.
3 into the foe. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the dough.
There's a couple of gentlemen with. What does it look like? Like they're about human height, but you can't quite tell what they are because they have on little like. Wait, I don't have to speak in metaphor with this. They look like British cops with gas masks on. You know that stereotypical British cop with the hat,
Yeah, they
Mhm.
British police hat.
what were they called? A constable.
Yeah, like let me throw an image in the Discord.
Oh boy, this is gonna be awkward if they pat Maxwell down.
Yeah,
Like that. Like they got those hats on, but they have like a mask that covers their whole face. And the mask where their mouth is, a tube comes out and it's going like into the side of their clothes. Like they have big cloaks on. Basically, like those tokens are accurate representations of how I
Oh
would
my god,
describe.
Jid, it's a mind flavor.
A mind flavor.
A mind flavor.
Jid
As you
is
guys
gonna.
are approaching down, and they see you guys like with your hands on your weapons, so they look like as you come up, they look around you, like they look at you, and then once they see that you have your hands on your weapons, they look around you, and like one of them tilts his head a little bit, like
Jid,
a confused head tilt,
Jid is gonna
and the other
immediately.
one and the other one pulls out what looks to be like half of a quarterstaff, but perfectly
Jid,
round.
Jid's gonna immediately yell out to them when they start to approach, like friend or foe. We don't want any trouble. We don't know we are.
Um, the one who the one who didn't pull out his club puts both like pats his belly like right below where the chest ends, both hands, and he kind of like he's basically trying to make himself look friendly. Just
Maxwell moves
Can
his
I
hand away from his gun,
can I
from the
roll
pepper box.
insight to see if he's actually being genuine or like
insight, yeah, roll insight. Um, from what you can tell, they're not trying to hurt you. They don't intend to hurt you. Maxwell, yeah, this is the 5-0. It's the cops. They're basically the town guard. Like these guys are the town guard that are out on patrol.
I
Like
think this is
very
what.
obvious. They have weird masks on, but these are very obvious. Like they have the weird shaped hat that some towns like to put on their guards, etc.
when
Jid,
Jid
I
sees
think this
that
is the town guard.
when well as soon as you would say that and I would see the action, I would immediately take my hands off my weapons and just I'm not gonna put my hands up, but I'm just gonna like keep my hands, you know, I
Visible.
mean visible, but my lances are literally like right next to me, so it's like
I'm
you know
carrying a car on my back, so.
Well, you can see that one of them, like just from the way the belt bulges, that one of them is carrying a pistol, the other isn't. Like one of them, it's like a similar shape to your pepper box, and you realize it's probably just a single barrel pistol.
Hmm.
Um, Jid, you have the same logic, but it takes you longer because you don't carry guns. Like you reach the same conclusion, just the
a
path a
little
little
long.
longer
I'm
because
gonna like
you're familiar with Maxwell's guns, but not like you haven't entirely learned the concept of guns.
yeah.
Like
Um,
it's hard to teach someone a whole like that's like leap in level of technology type concept for you. So it's taking so like well Maxwell has his hands on the guns and is learning that way. You're just seeing it come about.
yeah. Um,
And,
I'm a,
and as you
I'm
guys are
a,
taking your hands off your weapons, sorry, I'm trying to get this line of dialogue in. The
okay, go ahead.
his belly Oh, I don't think we're friend or foe. We're the town guard. The
Um,
militia, if you
Friend to
would.
us.
As long as you're not
Technically.
breaking any laws, I guess.
Well,
we
kind
go ahead.
of just appeared here. It
Ah,
wasn't exactly
and
planned.
well, nearly end to a night of drinking then, huh?
No. I personally don't drink, but well, I did once. Wasn't a good time. But we
We will.
we woke up in the library and are now just trying to find our way to the nearest inn.
In, in, in,
Inn.
in where?
Inn. You know, a place you go to rest when you don't have a home of your own.
Oh, he means a hotel.
Hotel?
I'm
Gee,
gonna look confused.
excuse me, sir. What?
Oh, it was two
What?
ends. Yeah, there's an inn. There's an inn about a mile down the road. There's an inn about a mile down the road, right past. You see where all this housing ends. There's this massive park that's for about half a mile, and right on the other side of it, you've got an inn. It's called what's it called? I think it's called McScottsdale. McScottsdale. Yeah, the
Scottsdale.
McScottsdale Hotel.
Appreciate it,
But,
sir.
but then, at this time of night, there ain't nobody at the front desk to check you in. I'd recommend, honestly, ain't no law against sleeping in the park. Nice place it is. Even
And
set up a tent there and everything. I see people do it all the time. Get away from the monotony of what their lives become.
Jid is gonna ask. Has I know this is gonna sound weird. Have y'all run across into anyone else who just appealed and looked confused tonight?
Not that weren't drunk. Not that weren't drunk like yous.
Scottsdale.
Or rather, not that they're not that. I mean to say, not that we're sober like yous.
I was about to be like drunk.
Sometimes slipping the words together doesn't exactly work. We don't get to talk to people often being not patrolmen.
No,
No.
I can understand that, and
At least
um,
not we're patrolling. Awful peaceful part of town this is.
so to make a long story short, we are foreigners, and
Very foreign, far off lands.
Oh,
and
well, you got the local tongue down, don't you? Don't sound like
Well,
foreigners. Have a good one.
we
And
made
they sort
Jid.
of, yeah. After have a good one, they continue their patrol.
That
I'm just
went.
gonna look at them and be like, I wasn't done, but oh well. Rude.
Maxwell's
Well,
gonna look look at
they
Jid,
were
look at them. You know, like, well,
they
that
were
went better.
talking to people. They didn't realize the conversation wasn't over. Basically,
Okay.
Well, important part is we know our way to at least a safe-ish place, right?
You do realize one of us is not gonna sleep tonight, right?
Yes, but I never sleep, technically.
Yeah, but you still have to rest.
Yeah, I do rest.
And what is rhythm playing this time?
That is an excellent question.
this is like the vibe I was looking for in music last night. I just couldn't remember the name of the song. I guess it made more sense to have the ominous music last time, anyways, just because police brutality.
Um, Yeah, I'm gonna continue down towards the end. I'm gonna put my hands back on my weapons just in case.
I'm gonna follow Jid, whilst also
So
looking
continue.
Hold
at the
on,
map.
hold on. I do have a question on this one, and this is something. What was the reaction of seeing me as a centaur? Was it like a normal, like, oh, it's just another person, or was like, this is a weird creature?
So you couldn't like the masks completely covered their faces. So like the only motes of expression you had were their gestures, and one of them looked one of them looked very confused, and the other was just trying to sound friendly. You can't really tell, and it's also and while it is and while the moon is almost full. Oh, that was short. I wanted a 1 hour version. So while
Can
the
you
moon
even?
was while the moon
Can
is so like it's not bright enough. So like it's bright enough to see, but not so bright that you could distinguish a centaur from someone on horseback.
Okay.
So if they recognize you as a so you can't tell if they recognize you as a centaur or not.
Okay. Well, then in that case, I would continue to the end because I have no idea where we are, and usually, sometimes centaurs will look weird because we're fey. So
What was that?
Yeah, the people find it weird because of the fae.
yeah,
But
because I'm technically a fey and not I'm a humanoid fey.
your creature type is fae rather than humanoid.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. I look human, but I'm a fey. Well, human-ish. The top half, anyways. Anyways,
Human,
continuing to
human.
the hotel.
You appear to be human adjacent.
Yeah.
So
As we're walking, I'm going to do a 1000th over on the map as we're walking.
tomato. All right. So looking at
Or
the map,
just get
what are you
every
trying
single
to?
detail I could get out of it within the span of a walk. Like if there's any path through the mountains or something, because I know what the plan is.
All right. There appears to be large black, like a marked road going through Nimsdale, through to Brumshire, and then it forks off somewhere in the middle and goes to New Amsterdam. So it seems like the main road, or at the very least, what people recognize to be the main road, goes around.
Okay.
And there's also a double, like a really like a river big enough to be on the map, basically going from ocean to the to off the map. And next to it is a symbol. Oh no, not. Let's make that a symbol that you don't recognize.
Hmm.
That's a very shitty drawing, but like, oh wait, I could draw this with the polygon line tool.
As I'm looking at this, I'm going to talk to Jid. Well, it seems to get from here to New Amsterdam, it is a fairly long journey as we have to go around the mountains and
Like a bridge. Now I look at it. It's not supposed to look like a bridge.
over a river that flows directly into the sea. Seems we're going to be journeying for quite a while.
Well, let's get as much rest as we can. Get as much supplies and let's.
You notice the map has no legend. This isn't so this might not. There's no legend on the map, and there's no drawn scale. So this map might not be to scale. You might have to go shorter or farther than you think.
This is a very, very, very unproficient map.
Well, I'm glad it cut you. I'm glad it cut me off in the middle of somebody else's sentence this time.
Very, very unprofessional map. But useful nonetheless.
Right.
We can talk to.
Map. It's the type of map that someone would get, like someone would use if they want to know what's around them, but never go there.
I think it might be wise if we stay here. I know it does
Just-
not make sense. A day and try to figure out what the hell is going on.
I
So,
agree with you, but I don't like it.
Do you think
so
I
as
like
you
it?
and then as you reach that hotel, it is as the front, like that inn, the McScottsdale. The front door is locked. Like you jiggle a handle, no budge.
I'm not going to bother trying to pick the lock. It's not worth it. It's a hotel. This is a fairly nice neighborhood. Like I said, suburban. Other two are in the hood. We're not in the hood.
Since it's locked, I would go to the park the town guard would suggest.
Yeah.
Let me just So the park is. Let's just grab the line tool for this.
Why don't we just take watches? No, it's
That's
only
what.
two of us.
Fenced in. Oh god, those lines are not lined up. Oh well, doesn't matter. Like fenced in.
What time was it when we got teleported?
I want
Or
one or
So for
two.
you,
Isekai?
it was so in the world you were in, it was like early evening.
Okay. So we would have been just getting down to bed. We're severely jet lagged. We're going to be severely jet lagged for a couple of days.
Probably. And there's a nice. So it's mostly grass. There's a nice. You can tell like the route that most people walk through the park by this dirt path, and that's way too wide. There.
I do have alert, so
Maxwell, how far is your dark vision again?
well, with the sunglasses, they're not on
Oh
here. I
god.
gotta go to the thing. Items, sunglasses. It's 60 feet, so it's the standard bit. Just the
All
standard
right, but
bit.
you also have the 120 degree Not 120, 120 foot dark vision from being a drow. So I'm just gonna
superior dark vision.
put a little aura on you.
Has a radius of 120 feet.
Yeah, I just need to know where I need to stop the drawing.
Just imagine Jid leaning over. What do your elf eyes tell you?
No, Jid has the sunglasses too, and he's like, you know
No, but
what?
you don't have superior
Oh, God,
dark
this is
vision.
I know, but you know what? You know what popped in my head? The 1-800 contact commercial. I have special eyes. My brand. Look with your special eyes.
Oh, hold up. Map layer.
Isn't that funny, Jade? We get forcibly teleported somewhere that is unrecognizable, and we still have to sleep on the floor.
That's easy for you to stay. I usually stay in the stables.
Or you sleep standing up. It can't be that bad.
And so, the
Actually,
park.
do horses sleep standing up?
Some of them do.
I don't know.
They lock their legs and they sleep standing up, yeah.
Okay.
Unless, they're a weird horse like I've seen on TikTok where one was just chilling on the ground.
Yeah. So there are no trees in this park. It's just all grass.
Nobody else is in the park?
It's a rather big park. So, but like in the section that you can basically, I don't even know these paths. There's a path through the park, but like it's not. But the path isn't important, and I'm not good enough at drawing with a mouse to draw a path. But yeah, there's a park. It's all grass, and you don't see any tents. It seems to be about half a mile square. So, like this 200 foot by 200 foot is a very small portion of it.
Jade, you can sleep. I'll take first watch.
Jid wants to argue, but he's not going to. He's gonna go take a. I guess we can only get like what, a short rest now.
I mean, are you just gonna wait for it to be daytime? Like, how long do you guys plan on resting?
I was gonna say until early morning. So I would say Jid would want to like start getting up and about around 8 or 9.
So yeah, like a long rest.
Okay, so he could take a long rest. All right,
I
then why
mean,
not?
we as people can go to sleep at like 1 o'clock. Wake up at 8 and be like, I'm cool. I'm fine.
Yeah,
Provided
that's
we
what
sleep
that's what
soundly.
Jid would do. He would rest.
I'll be right back.
Uh,
Let's take a short intermission as this.
and this is where I speak my plan for while Jid is resting. This is how I plan to put my first infusion into my gun. My bad. Well, how is everybody else doing? Everybody sounds exhausted right now. I'm just trying to keep people up.
So, I have increased Otherworld Aoife to level 9.
Oh boy. Almost tripped. Almost fell. I've been almost falling a lot lately. It's not a good look.
She does not have a single healing spell.
Otherworld Aoife. Of course she doesn't.
No, instead she has fun moves like Ray of Sickness, Magnify Gravity, Ray of Enfeeblement, Gravity Sinkhole, Anti-Life Shell, Vampiric Touch.
Oh yeah. Hatter, I forgot to mention, there's a very real chance that we could run into counterparts of ourselves who are not as friendly as us. Of course, not in the neighborhood we're in, because
No, I just had a hilarious thought on that one. We run into Otherworld Jid, and he's like a bookworm, and he's like,
I was thinking of
like
So Maxwell's
kind of,
taking first watch,
kind of,
right?
kind
huh?
of just like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
So
what do you think, Hatter?
kind
Real
of
quick.
just like the first thing that would come to mind is like kind of like how Hornhind off of Full Metal Alchemist is dressed, like a trench coat and like a scarf and like a nice set of glasses. That's how the Otherworld Jid would probably look.
Okay. What am I doing?
so you're taking first watch, right?
Yes.
So as the day goes along, as the night goes along, you notice that the moon is setting rather slowly. Like you have a good sense of time. Like elves tend to have a rather good sense of time.
Yeah.
And about an hour or two passes. The moon moves about a third as much as it ought to have.
What do I roll to explain to myself why this is happening? Nature, survival.
What do you think is happening?
I do believe that wherever we've been teleported, well, scientifically, probably has a different rotational axis than the planet does. But Maxwell would think there are longer nights here. Put it in simple terms because I don't think Maxwell knows all of that space mumbo jumbo.
I don't think anyone would know about Space Mumbo Jumbo.
Except for Zeus.
Oh, in the party. Okay, I thought you were like in the time period. Like, wait a minute. No, astronomy was getting pretty accurate in the equivalent time period to where you guys were.
Only Zeus was he's made of the stars.
This is true. I believe it.
I believe.
So yes, I know that it's not my place to make Otherworld Aoife, but I've decided that Otherworld Aoife is a master at gravitational magic.
This is terrible. Why are you doing this to us?
She's got such fun spells like Magnify Gravity, Immovable Object, Pulse Wave, Gravity Sinkhole.
Otherworld Jid would
But,
basically be a bookworm.
meanwhile, Maxwell is a fucking gym rat.
So
I'm
how long is Maxwell taking his shift for?
Well, Maxwell would want to have Jid at full readiness. So he would let him sleep as long as he possibly could, which is the full long rest. Or not the full long rest. That would be dumb, because then I wouldn't get a long rest. But Hmm?
You still get a long rest while taking watch, right?
Do we?
Yeah.
I think the long rest is just 8 hours without doing any strenuous activities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would let Jid sleep for the full 8 hours, whilst I was tinkering with my gun to give it its first infusion.
This photo, and like I could definitely see Jed having his armor made where it would have the strap to hold his upper half upright while he sleeps.
That's honestly scary.
What?
Just like arms crossed, standing, the sleeping standing up is just frightening to me in general.
And then just like being supported with the arms crossed, the head down. Yeah, Jid would
So,
definitely do that.
all right, the full 8 hours pass.
I give my gun its first infusion, which is repeating shot.
Jid wakes up, right, naturally, just of his natural rhythm,
Mm.
and
That was
it's
the
still
perfect
dark
timing.
outside. Like it's still moonlight.
Yeah,
Jid is
Jid,
gonna.
I was gonna wake you up. I was gonna tell you when you woke up. The nights seem to be very, very much longer here.
Okay, I was about to say, don't tell me that you let me sleep for the whole dang day.
Oh, never.
And then,
If I had to stay up for an entire day and you were still asleep, I would have slapped you to wake you up.
you're about the only person I would allow to do that without trampling them to death.
Yeah, that's why I would do it.
But the funny thing is, you still have to get on your step stool.
Well, either that or hit you with the butt of a gun. But you know,
Find a stick.
yeah.
It's like little
Yes.
Link. We're holding the stick.
Ooh,
Ocarina of Time.
somebody else is walking in. Jit, look, there's another person. That isn't a cop.
I don't know if I can see them. They are outside my
Nope, not
range.
anymore. Okay.
Well, I
What
could have
is
never
he
seen them.
doing? Or you could have. No, you wouldn't have.
Is that who I think it is?
My vision stops here.
He just went inside a box.
It's so I was just no. It's still almost full moonlight. Like there's enough there's enough clearance for like the whole half. Like you can see the whole half-mile square park.
Okay. Is he in a tent?
That's it. So he laid out a blanket and is now sitting on it.
He's sitting on it?
Yep.
Can
He's
I
like with his legs in
tell if
front of
he
him,
is?
his legs out in front of him. He's kind of just watching. He's laying so oh that's not freehand.
Maxwell, being the
Oh, wait, it's
person he
north.
is, in the
His head is to the north, so he's watching the moon set to the south.
I
Maxwell
would.
being the person he is gonna walk over because this is exactly how Crabman. This is how he met Crabman. So,
It being
The fucks he
fully
gives
up
are
in a
little.
way. And just
Hold up. Let me. This is why I get taking a bite of my burger. So when you get to about here, you, without moving his head, this man says, "Hello," but not like that. Let me think. Wait,
Yoo-hoo! Big Silver Blowout.
hello. You know what? No. Hello there. We're doing this voice for him. Hello there.
Hello there. My name is Maxwell. This is my friend Jid. Um,
Ew.
we're kind of new
and
and
lost.
lost, very lost. Would you happen to know how long the nights are here?
Sunrise. You see him put his, like, he shifts off of his hand, he's laying back on his elbows a bit, and he puts his hand up the sky and starts counts his, and you see him move his hand down. So it was, it's about 12 more hours before the sunrise.
12 hours.
Mm,
How long is a night in total?
wait, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
It could be time moves slower here, and we're just still in sped up time.
No, because they're talking at the same rate as us.
Oh, this is true.
Also,
Just
we would have super speed if that were the case.
Well, to us, we wouldn't. It would just be normal speed. To them, it's like everyone else would be like, "Hello there." Yeah, I know my voice did not pick that one up.
No, we did. I got it.
Okay.
Yep. So I need to do like circles and shit. Let's assume. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that because I can do that.
Oh, I just realized that when you make a climb that requires hands and feet, each foot of movement costs you 4 extra feet instead of 1. Ah, if I have to climb up a ladder, it's gonna take me like I can only move like 10 feet at a time.
That is. Let's hope we don't have to decline anytime soon.
That's a climb, not like go down.
Yeah, but say we're heading off a cliff. Like a 500-foot drop.
We're gonna make it over the cliff. I feel the Mustang in me.
Yeah, but we have to go down.
I will say this, like when like the party's on about, I could definitely see like looking at this photo, like Jed like having the harness on and sleeping standing up like that. But like when he's at an inn, it's gonna be one of the other two. Or he's like at a stable with like a comfy like pillow or something. He's like, yeah, I'm going to relax.
I was wrong. Sunrise is in about an hour.
Fuck is that?
The sunrise is about
No.
is in about an hour.
No. Hold on.
Probably mean chewing.
Problem is I don't have an animal, and I'm hearing something.
That is a problem.
Wait. I said it was like 2 a.m. when you guys got into the street.
Mm-hmm.
Then you took an 8-hour long rest.
Mm-hmm. It will be 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Oh, 6 hours. Wait for 16.
Wait.
Oh. Okay,
So
the days are 70. The days are 72 hours long.
the days are 2 hours long.
72 hours long.
Oh, 72 hours long?
3 days long.
So 1 day for you. So what you thought was originally a day is 3 days. So a clock, right? Clock.
Mm.
So 36 hours is night, and 36
So 30,
is a
like,
day.
yeah, 36-hour night on the equinox. 36-hour night, 36-hour day. And it varies. You know what? No variance. Orbits are circles in this world. Wait, no, that's not. Wait. Oh no, the seasons are because of the tilt. 0-degree tilt. Day and night are always the same length. So it's 36, 36. So they would have 4 and something you're going to learn eventually at some point. So your characters don't know this yet. I just need to do this out loud on the screen so that I know the math, so that I know what he would say to tell you. Free hands. So they measure the day in 4 18-hour increments. Going from so they have 72 hours in their day, which is 70, and their hours are the same as yours. 4 18-hour increments. Sunrise is always 0, sunset is always 36. So what you saw as 1 a.m. was actually 57, 65, 72 minus 65 is 7. There are 7 hours until sunrise.
Holy shit.
That is fine.
This world is gonna take some getting used to. This area. I don't know why I said world.
Because as far as you're aware, we're not even on the same world that we came from.
Well, Maxwell thinks he's on the same world. Nobody's explicitly said, yeah, no, you're not in a different You're not in a different
Okay.
place. You're just,
Okay, where were we? Before there's 7 hours till sunrise, he says.
oh. Oh my.
I'm gonna ask him if he's seen anything weird, like anything like a strain, like out of the ordinary, of late.
No, nothing much. But I did hear tell that since the election in New Amsterdam, there's been a ton of unrest. I reckon it's going to result in violence in the next few days.
Unrest.
I'm gonna say that we are foreigners and we are not familiar with the politics around here. And could he kindly explain what's going on? If he could, you know. And I
So,
just realized that is. I just paid attention to the token, and I just realized who that was.
Oh my god, it is!
you said it, and like, okay, I'm making this guy. I'm making a token for this. So you
Don't tell me
explained
that. Don't tell me this is Otherworld Jid.
no, it's not. This guy appears human. At the very least, he has a human. He has the same proportions as a human. So he explains that like every 2 years, each and every like the two major cities have an election every year, alternating which year they get a new mayor. So a mayor serves a term of 2 years. Well, in New Amsterdam, they just and in New Amsterdam, by it's not done by a direct popular vote. The city's too big. The city's like too big for one person to be able to represent. For the city's too big for the city's too damn big. So they elect the mayor by a sort of puppet process. Like like they have multiple rounds for their election, and somebody really really unpopular won every round of the election, which never happens. Like you in the election, you either get a certain vote. You need to in each round you need to get a certain share of the votes to make it to the next round, and they just keep going until somebody wins. Until there are two candidates. Until there are two candidates, or sometimes three. Sometimes it ends up being three candidates for the final election, and one person gets and because one person is predicted to get a majority of votes, and they usually do. Well, someone who was really, really am I still here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you
Yes.
still
are.
here.
We're just
Okay,
listening intently.
okay. So someone absolutely incredibly unpopular with just about everyone. Like both of the major candidates at the final stage were unpopular except for niche groups. Those niche groups managed to boost their votes. And the less popular, so like the most hated person on the ballot from the first round, made it all the way to the last round and won the election and has been made the president. A man by the name of Connor Panteater.
Hmm.
Like, and
Gee, with a name like Pant Eater.
everyone had predicted that his opponent would have won. York is small enough that they can just have a single round. York is small enough and has a quite enough political scene that their mayoral election isn't such a big deal. But Mr. Panteater wanted to curb the growth of the city quickly. So he stopped all resident applications, all infrastructure loans, everything, because he thought the city being too damn big was a bad thing. And when it was announced that he won, there was a major riot. And this gentleman you're talking to thinks there's going to be another riot sometime soon. And at some point, he introduces himself as Ensoya.
And when he introduced himself, I would introduce myself.
Oh man. Sorry, I got
I'm trying to think
distracted.
of any more questions I got for him.
I just finished my dinner. That shit was hidden.
The opponent's name was Liv Whipple. Like the other unpopular, but like the other unpopular person who was predicted to actually win is named Liv Whipple.
This reminds me of a 2016 event. I'm not sure what though. I'm unsure what 2016 event this could derive inspiration from.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because that I don't. We actually had a talk in my small group today about bringing up politics and stuff,
You're
and
good.
they have the time and place. So
Yeah, you're good. I'm just making notes. Yeah. So we have 7 hours to
Jid would ask, since they're not familiar with the city, like what would be a good place to like, stock up on like, supplies and um ask him more about, the best way to get to the capital to see what's going on, since Maxwell's so convinced that we need to go there.
because it is a capital.
Because we're still trying to figure out what's going on with all situation, and we need to get to the capital.
It is.
You shouldn't need to do any stocking up in town. There's so many rest stops and small towns along the main road.
Rest
That you should
stops?
rest stops. Yes, sort of. They're usually 30 or 40 miles. Every 30 or 40 miles or so. There's somebody probably. Every 30 or 40 miles or so, um, someone inevitably settles down and sets up a spot for travelers to rest and stock up and enjoy a slice of civilization before continuing on their journey. I think when I came from New Amsterdam to here, it was about 30 years ago. Whew, I think the biggest gap was 150 miles. And that was around the bend. And there's been whew. And I know that a couple of settlements have popped up in the bend since then. So you should be Should be fine to go. Fine to go. So you should be fine. You shouldn't. I'd reckon there'd be at most 50 miles without a rest stop, and you should be able to get 3 days worth of 3 days worth. The 3 days worth of travel of supplies from a rest stop.
Thank you, sir. Quick
What
question.
about? Go ahead.
Which way would we... Which way closest to that particular road?
Oh, if you just follow this road south and out of town, you'll be right on the road, the main road.
Thank you.
And any offshoots that is smaller in width than the main road will probably lead to small settlements, or maybe even just a campsite.
Maxwell bows
So
out and turns around and starts working on a jug of some sort.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's their infusion is the alchemy job.
Yes. For now. I'm gonna change it when we get another long rest in and we meet up with Aoife. But for now, yeah, alchemy jug.
Jid's gonna ask
For some
to
reason,
inquire
yeah, I'm
about a
thinking it
map.
isn't a compendium, but I know that you can that's a if you're able to find water, you could live off of the honey you can make. If you make mayonnaise with that ever, I will smite you.
Never making... I hate mayonnaise, personally. Disgusting. I'd use the mayonnaise shit for just to throw it on somebody.
Oh, that's gross, but that's all.
But
But I understand.
that's effective. Who's gonna fight covered in mayonnaise?
Somebody who likes mayonnaise.
You clean out a mayonnaise jar,
Somebody who
wash it out real good, and fill it with vanilla yogurt.
First thing I'm doing when I see evil Aoife, mayonnaise. Real Aoife goes like, "No, Maxwell, I hate mayonnaise, so she likes it."
Yeah, you can make 8 gallons of fresh water with that in a day.
I can also make 12 gallons of useless water in a day.
Yeah, a quart of oil you could set up with that.
Traps are gonna be great because guns exist.
Oh yeah, I have to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Oh man. In that case, I'm going to put my dish in the sink. I'm gonna do that whole paperwork bit tomorrow, but I'm tired. Quick question, Andrew. Does the real Aoife like honey?
I would assume so.
So if I throw honey on Nega Aoife, she's gonna hate it. Good to know. Good to know.
So, apparently, there's a 9th level gravity spell that's basically create a black hole.
Didn't I say that? I think I read it at some point.
Called Ravenous Void.
Yes, I did read that to you.
Ah. I may not have fully been paying attention.
You definitely were not. I think you were occupied by something.
I do that a lot.
But I read that to you. It is in the new book that you just got.
Right. But yeah, no. This is, even without magical items, this is a scary child.
You know, if Aoife, as a nice person, is extremely powerful at healing, then her as an evil little girl definitely has the power to wreck everyone's shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. I'd say, I'm trying to figure out how the hell.
Fucked up part is, I think Evil Maxwell would be a totem warrior barbarian. So he could tank all the damage. Except for psychic.
What I'm trying to figure out is how the hell I got level 20 Aoife to have 351 max hit points.
Tough, probably.
Nope, tough isn't on here. Like, I'm looking at her character sheet and I don't see tough on here. And even so, that would only give her a bonus 40.
Alright. Cup is stable. This bottle is also stable now. Okay. Oof. Interesting.
Anyway, I gotta start getting ready for work.
Yep. I get the feeling we're probably gonna end around here right now.
If y'all want to take a look at Otherworld Eva, put her in my thing on the sandbox.
Nega Eva.
Alright, so I'm gonna just mute myself, put a message in the Roll20 thing, in the Roll20 chat when session ends, so I know when to cut the recording.
Yep.
Good night,
Pat, are
everybody.
you still up? Pat, are you still up? Buddy? I don't think he is. Jojo. Maybe your mic is muted. Like the mic itself. That's, using a microphone. Here. Oh, fuck.
Hello?
Yes. We're ending here. Just,
We're ending here.
yeah, we're ending here. Folks that are still watching, thank you for joining us. The recording isn't going to turn off for another probably long time. And
Drew's passed out.
no, he can't reconnect to the voice chat.
I
That's
said
why he
Drew,
keeps.
not JoJo.
Oh no, Drew left for work.
Oh,
Oh,
But
there we go.
oh, there we go.
Oh, my phone was just having its time eaten up by the apps I had open.
Now
So I
the
closed all
audio.
my apps, reopened this, and now it's working. But considering that it's almost midnight for Hatter,
Yeah.
and he said he has work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mike, you still here, Hatter?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still here.
You sound tired, man.
I
Yeah, you
am
sound
tired.
exhausted. It's like
I think it's a good idea to end here then, so that you can get a good night's rest.
I agree.
Before we end, I'm definitely gonna ask about getting a better map. Well, could I go like to like a map shop, like a cartography shop or something?
Well, and Soya doesn't know anything about that because he doesn't usually go into the shopping district. But there's a massive town square on the other, like on the northern end of town. Town square, big shop, big shopping center. Can't miss it. Like, imagine a bazaar on crack. It's like imagine a bazaar on crack are his exact words.
Then that's what I would be starting. I would tell Maxwell it's like that might be a good place to stock up on different supplies
Probably. We could stop there on
and
the way out.
see what's over there. I understand what he said earlier, like we could take stops and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
looking at armor, looking at weapons, that stuff is running through Jed's mind.
So sounds like we'll have a shopping session for Maxwell and Jid next time.
Um,
Not
At the very
I'm
least,
one.
some.
I
At the
think
very
I
it's
least,
just
some shopping.
yeah.
I'm down to go ahead and during the week just tell you what I'm looking for and like so we can just kind of skip it.
Genuinely, I'm just gonna look for a map and
Okay.
I'm gonna look for a new set of armor, a new set of lances. Like if I can find like a battle set, that's mainly my aim and like more health potions.
All right.
uh
I think I can wrestle that up.
A bag of holding. That's literally what that's it.
That too,
A
and
map and a bag of holding.
All right. Well, remember, you're in a new world with you. You currently have currency from a different world.
Oh
So
yeah.
we're gonna have to do some role play for the shopping next week.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but I was figuring we could just we can go ahead and get the items, figured out,
Yeah,
And
to
then like
figure out
role
what items.
play
Yeah,
the
and then role play what we
actual
need to.
tell
transaction.
just DM me throughout the week what you're looking for so that I can figure out what I need to set up in terms of shops.
It was some new clothes to better fit the people here. Because I'm assuming we look like we came straight out of Ren Fair.
Yeah, basically, people will generally think that you're just very rural, like from a part of the country that hasn't caught up with the times yet.
About to get me some Air Force Ones.
I have a set. No,
I do
wait, no, I
too.
don't. No, I don't. I was
I
thinking of
do.
another set.
Give me some Air Force Ones, some all black Converse. I'm kidding. Those are not those Converse and Air Force Ones are not walking shoes.
You've made this joke before.
Have I?
Yeah, I'm getting real serious deja vu here.
Maybe
You
maybe
were,
you actually are having
swear,
deja vu.
I swear you made jokes about getting Sigmund some Jordans.
If I joked about anything with Sigmund, it would have been getting him some Versace.
I don't know, but I'm gonna get out of here and cool off and
I
and
too am.
get my fix of Final Fantasy so that I can maybe do some other things later
I am
instead of
also
spending
going
all
to get
night playing
off.
Final Fantasy like I did last night.
I'm also going to get off, and I don't know.
All right,
Probably
I'll
go
see
to
you in a
sleep.
bit.
I am going to look like that Centaur that has the pillow or has
Yep.
the cushion in about 5 minutes.
Yep. You
Nice.
do that, homie.
Have a good night, y'all.
You too.